NBC News chief data analyst, Steve. You've had a long week.
Listen, the elections, Breeders' Cup last week, and now we get the NFL. Not bad, you know.
Well, let's talk about the Steelers matchup on Sunday night. First of all, where do both teams stand right now?
Yeah, this is a pivotal game for both of them. I mean, take a look here at the records. The Steelers, they are coming off their biggest win of the year, an upset win. They knocked off the Indianapolis Colts, the upstart Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, the Chargers, they are sitting at 6-3. They are banged up. They got injuries left and right. They've had all sorts of issues trying to bring free agents in, fill out this roster. So here you go. Standings now, playoff standings in the AFC. And you can see with that win last night, there are the Broncos, number one. Steelers, they're leading their division at 5-3. That's why they're fourth, even though they have one fewer win than the fifth place team. And here's the Chargers in sixth at 6-3. And this, Craig, I want you to avert your eyes. This is the cut line. These teams are on the outside looking in, and that includes the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's scary. And the Ravens, too.
And look at the Patriots.
And the Patriots, by the way. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciated that one.
A lot of football left.
All right, so let's look at the sidelines, Steve, and talk about Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, so Tomlin, the coach of the Steelers. Now, how about this? Hired in January 2007. So it's been 18 years now. That makes him the longest tenured coach in the NFL.
Right.
And the longest tenured coach in all four major professional sports.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what. If you want job security, if that's the kind of career you're looking for, be the head coach of the Steelers. He is only their third coach in 56 seasons.
Wow.
So
and he's the coolest looking coach.
Still, after 18 years.
Never had a losing season.
Never had a losing season, although I will say there's a little bit of grumbling because it has been 9 years since they won a playoff game, and we'll see. They've brought in this year Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers have, the quarterback. Could be his final year. Could he break that playoff jinx there? And, of course, Justin Herbert, what a QB matchup we had Sunday night.
All right, you have a trivia for us today?
So the game is going to be in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, and so we are asking because SoFi is shared by both the Rams and the Chargers. One other venue is shared by two teams. Do the Bengals and Browns play in the same stadium? Do the Eagles and Steelers play in the same stadium? Do the Jets and Giants? Do the Cowboys and Texans?
I don't know the answer.
It's an easy one.
It's Jets and Giants.
By the way, a lot of mediocrity at MetLife every Sunday.
You know what? I'm sure these guys appreciate it. They're probably like, you know what, you get out here and do that.
I
was going to say D, but everybody else is saying.
I was
going to go D, but because I don't know.
Well, one team's in
the correct answer.
I don't know.
Is he?
It's
the Jets and the Giants. It's MetLife.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. New York Jets, New York Giants play in New Jersey.
Correct.
The only actual New York team is in Buffalo.
That's right.
Steve Kornacki, get your nap this weekend, Steve. You can catch that Steelers-Chargers matchup Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern on NBC, and, of course, streaming on Peacock.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are at a crossroads right now, just like the Kansas City Chiefs now, having lost the Dallas Cowboys in the middle game of Thanksgiving weekend, sitting at 6-6. Unfortunately, the Chiefs are not in the AFC North, where 6-6 is good enough to have a piece of first place. So we should, once again, as always, I always like to counsel how not everything happens in a week-to-week vacuum in the National Football League. But the way that teams play, you can take a look at how things might play out down the road over the final 5 games of the NFL campaign. Everybody has 5 games to go, with the exception of the 4 teams on a Week 14 bye, and that includes the Patriots. But the Steelers at 6-6 right now don't look like they have anything in the tank, which is not the way I'm sure Aaron Rodgers thought his season would go in Pittsburgh. But right now, I think his body is the embodiment of the Steelers to this point and their chances of moving forward. Rodgers emerging from this 26-7 home beatdown at the hands of a Bills team that one week looks great and the next week does not. Kind of like Brett Saberhagen's Cy Young seasons back in the 80s. You know, 1 week looking great, next week looking not, and they looked like a 26-7 victor on Sunday. Rodgers with a cast on his left hand and a Band-Aid across the bridge of his nose, looking like he's trying to break into Kevin's home for Home Alone 3. And him getting knocked out of the game by Joey Bosa for a series in a sack, force, fumble return for a touchdown that completely flipped this game from a tight one-score contest into a washout. Wondering if the Steelers' season is anything but that. He's the embodiment of it. And that's the issue here. Is what do the Steelers have, if not a stout defense that can stop the run? And instead, they gave up the most runs anybody who's been in that stadium, Heinz Field turned into Acrisure, have ever seen an opponent get. Ever. 249 rush yards. Were most by a road team at Pittsburgh since week 2 of 1975 when the Bills came in.
Whoa.
With OJ and everybody else in the old stadium at the Confluence. And right now, there's a confluence of the Steelers, and it does not look like they are ready to even beat a Ravens team that hasn't gotten a touchdown pass from their quarterback in a month. Certainly when Tony Romo's talking about the Steelers' best offensive weapon being a 310-pound tight end. That's also a problem. So if you can't stop the run, you can't run it, and you also aren't threatening down the field, and your Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame quarterback in his early 40s has a cast on his hand and a Band-Aid across his nose, how are you going to go anywhere from here? And Rodgers was asked about the offense not clicking again, and the instance being the moment that CBS's cameras caught him being distressed with tight end Jonnu Smith, one of the acquisitions that the Steelers made that was supposed to give another weapon to Aaron Rodgers to be better than 6-6 entering December. He goes one way. I mean, it's like that painting from Goodfellas. One receiver goes one way, the quarterback goes the other way, and the fans are saying, "What do you want from me?" We're booing. And Rodgers had this to say about that moment.
When there's film sessions, everybody shows up. And when I check to a route, you do the right route, you know? Like, John and I just weren't on the same page. I checked to his in-breaker, and he ran an out-breaker. You know, John is a true professional, so I'm sure he's sick about that. But, you know, I threw a ball I thought was going to get hit by the wind, and it was 4 yards over Roman. So that's a throw. I got to make that throw. But, you know, we have our meetings every week. We have other opportunities outside of the facility, and look forward to seeing all the boys there.
So that's, you know, a somewhat cryptic response there, whereas he's calling out Jonnu Smith, but then he doesn't call out
Steelers Nation, get ready, because what we're diving into today is not just another routine press conference or a midweek injury update. What happened inside the Pittsburgh Steelers facility today is a clear, powerful, unmistakable sign that this team is transforming right in front of our eyes. And at the center of that transformation is a name that, just a few months ago, was considered a project, a raw talent, a mid-draft swing with potential. But today, Jack Sawyer is becoming something far more important. Today, Jack Sawyer is emerging as one of the most intriguing and promising pieces of the new defensive identity of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this isn't coming from fan hype. This isn't rumor, speculation, or wishful thinking. This came straight from defensive coordinator Teryl Austin, one of the most respected coaches in the NFL. a man who chooses his words with precision, who rarely hands out praise, and who never exaggerates the progress of a player who hasn't truly earned it on the field. But today, when Austin was asked about the development of rookie Jack Sawyer, he was honest, direct, and transparent. And the message was loud and unmistakable. Jack Sawyer is growing, quickly, very quickly. Austin said, "Jack has grown. We like Jack." Two simple sentences that carry enormous weight. When a Steelers coach, especially a coach who has worked with some of the best defenses in the league, says something like that about a rookie drafted late on day 3, you pay attention. That is not casual praise. That is real recognition. And let's talk about context. Alex Highsmith recently returned from injury. And even with an established starter back in the lineup, Sawyer has not been pushed aside. He continues to earn meaningful snaps. He continues to be trusted on the field. He continues to be part of the rare 3 outside linebacker package this coaching staff has introduced. A bold, aggressive, creative defensive concept that demands versatility, discipline, football intelligence, and physicality. The fact that Sawyer is part of this package so early in his career is a massive sign of confidence. Austin went further. The Steelers are not abandoning that package. They will keep using it. And why? Because Sawyer has shown he can execute it. Because he isn't overwhelmed by the responsibilities. Because his understanding of the scheme is growing week by week. And most importantly, because while many rookies struggle to keep up with NFL speed, Sawyer is proving he can accelerate. This becomes even more impressive when we remember what happened last postseason against the Ravens, that humiliating game where Baltimore ran for almost 300 yards. That loss sparked an entire offseason of rebuilding, restructuring, and reimagining the Steelers' defensive front. The 2025 blueprint was built with one mission: never again allow a division rival to dominate physically at the line of scrimmage. And now, even with injuries and adjustments, the Steelers are discovering internal answers, unexpected contributors, and emerging pieces, and Jack Sawyer is becoming one of the most important of them. Austin praised his work ethic, adaptability, and football IQ. He emphasized that Sawyer allows the team to stay in certain defensive groupings even when Highsmith isn't on the field. That means Sawyer isn't just a replacement. He's a strategic piece. He changes game day decisions. He influences defensive play calling. He is slowly becoming part of the backbone of this evolving defense. And here's something many national analysts haven't noticed yet. Sawyer's presence allows Pittsburgh to disguise looks, confuse quarterbacks, mix pressures, and open creative defensive wrinkles that simply weren't available before. Smart, instinctive players accelerate your playbook. They allow your defense to be more aggressive, more unpredictable, more dangerous. And that is essential in an AFC North built on physicality, razor-thin margins, and games where every inch matters. Now, as we approach another massive rivalry showdown, another chapter in a series that defines players, coaches, and legacies, the message from the coaching staff is encouraging. Jack Sawyer is ready. He is reliable. He is improving at the exact moment the Steelers need him most. But this growth isn't just about Sawyer. It reflects what is happening across the entire team. This is a group adjusting in real time, discovering new internal engines, rebuilding its identity, and showing signs that a defensive resurgence is underway. That does not happen by accident. That happens when preparation, talent, and opportunity collide. And right now, Jack Sawyer is the embodiment of that collision. Steelers Nation, one of the greatest joys for any fan is watching a young player begin to transform into something special before your very eyes. And when that transformation happens on a team clawing its way back towards the top, it means hope. It means momentum. It means the future is taking shape. And I want to hear from you, every single fan watching this video. Do you believe Jack Sawyer is ready for a larger role in this defense? Do you see in him a future starter, a potential cornerstone? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, share the video, and of course, subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire for more deep analysis, reactions, and updates. Here, the voice of the fans always matters. Here, we live Steelers football every single day.